Shivaji left for Agra on the persuasion from Jai Singh. Aurangzeb had written to him to come in full confidence and that he'll be glorified with royal favors and given permission to return home. He went there with only 100 of his men. His flag was orange-colored. At sight, Shivaji's body looked lean and short. His appearance was fair in complexion, and even without finding who he was, one felt instinctively that he was a ruler of men. He was brave and high-souled man, and wore beard. Shivaji and Sambhaji were presented to the emperor. He was made to stand in front of Raja Ram Singh. It was emperor's birthday, thus he distributed robes to Jafar Khan and Raja Jaswant Singh. Shivaji became sad and fretful. He flew into rage and his eyes were filled with tears. Emperor noticed this and said Ram Singh to ask what ails him. Shivaji was humiliated in front of the noble men and the public. He wasn't given due respect, and was made to stand for long and below Jaswant Singh, deliberately, with the intention of humiliating him. He then turned his back and started walking violently in between those noble men. Ram Singh followed and tried to persuade him, but Shivaji didn't listen, and cried out,
"My death has arrived, either you kill me or I shall kill myself. Cut off my head and take it if you like, but I am not going back to the emperor's presence."
By saying so, he left. Ram Singh was the son of Raja Jai Singh. He had ordered Ram Singh to see that no harm comes to Shivaji. The emperor was thinking of killing Shivaji, but Ram Singh intervened and said, "Shivaji has come there only trusting his father's words, so if the emperor is planning to kill Shivaji, he has to kill us first and do whatever he likes." Aurangzeb wanted to kill Shivaji, but on the advice of his sister, that nobody will be available to him if he killed Shivaji, as no one would trust his assurances, he left the issue there. Shivaji was still in Agra with Ram Singh's guard. He ordered all his men to leave to Deccan. And if they killed, they would only kill him, not anyone. Mughals were keeping strong watch to ensure he doesn't escape. In the midst of these he managed to escape out of Agra. Shivaji was very generous and had done a lot of charities. This had gathered a lot of well-wishers everywhere. This came in handy for his escape. He escaped in disguise in midst of heavily guarded city of 1,000 men who were on duty. His arrival at Rajgad was celebrated. He never again trusted the Mughals. His general, Netaji Pakar, was captured and forcibly converted to Islam. Jai Singh was losing his battle against Bijapur. He made a face-saving treaty and left to Agra. On the way he fell ill, and died. This came as a relief to Aurangzeb, as he was strongly allergic to Rajput influence in Mughal administration. Mughal weren't in a position to attack Bijapur or Marathas immediately, thus laid peace with them. Shivaji's territory now started growing parallelly with the Portuguese. Portuguese had demolished the Shiva temple in Dewadi. The same shrine was raised again by the Hindus in the adjacent region. This badly needed funds for repair. Shivaji got it repaired. From year 1669, Aurangzeb started destroying and plundering Hindu temples. He tortured and forced numerous Hindus and converted them to Islam. The Benares temple of Sri Vishwanath was razed to ground. His policy was to rule by relying on their orthodoxy. This hurt the overwhelming majority of this land. This caused deep anguish to the deeply religious and tolerant Shivaji. He started to engage in arms again, against Aurangzeb. Out of his zeal for reformation of the demolished temples, and to stand against his policy of forced conversion, the Viceroy of Deccan, Prince Muazzam, was unwarlike and peace-loving. Aurangzeb was caught up with troubles in Mathura. This was the best time for Shivaji to attack. He burst upon with a fury that stunned them. His primary aim was to rid Bharat from the Mughals, thus he attacked the Mughals wherever he found them, on forts, in valleys and in cities. Fort after fort went down to Shivaji. Some forts were captured after heroic struggles. One such was by the popular tale of Simagad Fort, by Tanhaji Malusare. He fought a duel with Uday Bhan, in which both lost their lives. He started capturing all the forts which he had surrendered. There was an utter chaos among the Mughals. The Marathas were fighting in every part of the Deccan, Mughals were facing heinous defeat everywhere. Dilar Khan, who was campaigning against Marathas in Deccan, didn't have a cordial relation with Muazzam. Surprisingly, Muazzam called onto Shivaji to assist him in the pursuit of Dilar Khan. This could have been a trap. Shivaji wisely rejected to walk into it. At this time the Mughal government was practically in a state of paralysis. On the top of it, came the shocking news that Shivaji had once again struck a deadly blow to Surat. He plundered and left with an enormous booty. Muazzam entrusted Dud Khan to intercept Shivaji. Ikhlas Khan of Bijapur had to wait for Dawood Khan to attack Shivaji troops, but hot-headed he was, attacked Marathas without waiting for him. This attack was a disaster, he was badly wounded and brought down from his horse. Meanwhile Dawood Khan had hurried to the scene of action with his troop, he took Ikhlas Khan from there. Marathas continued their technique of fighting called Bargi Giri, meaning a continuous attack, while surrounding the enemy from all sides. Shivaji succeeded in conveying the treasure from Surat, swiftly and safely. In Golconda an opportunity presented to Shivaji. Abdulad Qutub Shah, the king of Golconda died. He was succeeded by his son-in-law, Abdul Hassan. Shivaji made an alliance with him, and other Deccan powers, who were against Mughals. He made a grand strategy to entangle the Mughals in the west, fighting in thick jungles of Baglana, to prevent them marching south into his homelands. This achieved the desired security to his homeland. This revealed Shivaji as a great general and a strategist. Make sure to subscribe, so you don't miss out on my future videos. The more subscribers I get, again the better and more content I can continue making. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.